is, as you mentioned here, resettlement caseworker position. And I always like to start with what is your understanding of the position to be. And as we have advertised, we're looking for a cultural broker. And what does that tell you? What does that mean to you?
The way I understand a resettlement caseworker is a person who goes through several different steps in the process of resettling a refugee or refugee family, including going to the airport, picking them up, finding a residence for them to stay in, finding food, clothes, and all the basic necessities, providing like cultural knowledge for them, such as like know-how and taboos that are here in the States, English as a second language lessons. I think that's important for them as well.
Okay. You look like you're ready to jump in.
That's a good question. One of the things this requires is some knowledge and practice of working cross-culturally. And I wonder if you've had experiences cross-culturally, or can you just tell us a little bit about yourself in that regard?
I can. This past summer, I spent in Sarajevo, Bosnia. I worked as an intern with a community center there. I organized and led teams, short-term teams, and provided housing for them. I worked a lot with tutoring students in English, one-on-one, and also kids' classes. So I also saw a lot of the cultural tensions that were in the country at that time, as there are three main cultural groups and then three main religious groups. So some of the experience I had was not only cultural, but it was also religious, well, like working with Muslims and things like that.
I'm sure you're familiar with our website and our mission vision statements. Can you talk a little bit about how you feel about who we are as an organization?
I know that the mission and vision both focus on working with people who are vulnerable, such as refugees, and I appreciate the fact that they involve the church in that, so they combine working with the church along with their organization. So they're partnering and not just trying to do everything on their own. I think that's important. I do realize that sometimes it can be risky in certain places to involve the church, but because the church has such a wide network, I think it's great.
Tell us a little bit about your skills in terms of organization, computer skills, being able to handle all of the various government agencies and things that you would have to deal with.
I think that I am adept at organizing paperwork, and in my current job right now, I do a lot of that. I do paperwork as well as working with some computer, like Microsoft Word, and like databasing. So I think that I wouldn't have too much trouble figuring out how to put together case studies or casework and keeping it organized in files.
Do you speak any other languages? Are you proficient in any other language? Okay.
One of the things we're also interested in, because we're a Christian organization, is your relationship with the church and just God's call on your life. And maybe you could talk a little bit about those two things.
Sure. I was raised in a family that both my parents were believers. And from a young age, I had a lot of experience in the church, but I made a conscious decision when I was in first grade that Jesus was the person who I wanted to follow and believe in and trust. And actually music had a lot to do with that, so that's something that's been a recurring theme for my life, is how music is tied in with my faith. But I am involved in my church back home, which is a Christian Missionary Alliance church. And here I'm not a member of a church, but I do go occasionally to a church in the city. but I do try to keep my relationship with Christ first and foremost, as opposed to, putting him underneath schoolwork and things like that.
World Relief, we try and hire the absolute best employees that we can find, but we also know that there is no perfect employee. Can you share with us a weakness that you have?
One of the weaknesses that I see the most is dealing head-on with conflict. I don't really like to deal with conflict in a manner that's confrontational. I would prefer to work behind the scenes and that sort of thing. I think that's a weakness.
How would you measure your own success?
I think academically, it would be not only through grades, but what I'm learning and how I can apply it. I think that's one of the biggest things, is how I can apply what I've learned to the circumstances that I'm in at the moment.
And in a position like this, how would you know if you're successful?
Because it involves people, I think that seeing the joy that they have and knowing that they're okay, that they're safe, and that they're cared for, I think that would be what I would measure success by.
As we wrap this time up that we've had with you, do you have any questions for us?
I do. One question that I have about World Relief is, what measures do you take to allow for financial transparency and accountability in your organization?
Okay. We're a part of the organization. Yes, I was trying to get the right order of the initials, and they really are the oversight. They're the accountability, and it's like the stamp of approval for transparency. Of course, we have annual audits and independent auditors coming in each year and auditing our records, our books, our accounting. The audit is made public. And they also look at donations that have come in and how the donations have been distributed. Are we spending the money on what we say we will spend the money on? Is an example of the oversight that an independent audit would give.
Okay. I have a couple more questions, if that's all right. What type of legal services do you provide once the refugees are in the country? Like, do you partner with the U.S. government in that, or is this more like just your organization?
Well, the people that will be given to you in those cases will have refugee status, and so you'll be working with people with that status. So other than that, are you asking if they get in trouble with the law if they enter the legal system, like criminal, civil cases?
Right.
I think we probably direct them to public defenders. Do we have anybody to serve as that? I hope that answers this. Would you agree?
And then my last question is, if I became a resettlement caseworker, what kind of member care would you provide, like for trauma or emergencies or things that you provide for your employees?
Great question.
As you would move further in the interview process or the process of hiring, if you are selected to move further at some point, our benefit package would be explained to you, but just overall, just generally, we do have a very generous benefit package with health benefits that also includes the mental health aspect of wellness.
All that changes a little bit as Obamacare gets implemented, so
Yeah, but right
we'll see
now,
where all that ends up. Yeah.
but we do value our employees, and sick time off, and those kinds of things are very much a high priority for us.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for your time.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Bill. Nice to meet you, Donna.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Have a good day.
You too.